You're watching Color 10 News at 10 in high definition.
Greene County deputies investigate cattle thefts. Good evening, I'm Ashley Ketz. Thanks for joining us. 7 cows, 4 of them heifers, and 3 bulls were taken from Clearwater Farm. That's just off Highway 266 near Willard. Color 10's Justin Doherty visited the farm and spoke with the owner. Justin.
Ashley, Jim Pipkin has more than 700 Angus cows. Yesterday, he noticed 3 bulls were out of place and other cattle were mixed in the wrong pastures. Now, authorities are investigating the disappearance of cattle that hold a value over $20,000.
You can tell it was a hurried project because we never leave anything out like this.
Jim Pipkin is a farming legacy.
Panels were just slung out. You could tell it was just haphazardly done, just enough to get them on the trailer and get them confined and get them gone.
He and his family own Clearwater Farm and have been farming Angus cattle for the past 80 years.
My dad found these fences cut when he started checking.
Now, for the first time ever, Jim doesn't feel so secure about his livelihood.
You feel violated, for sure. You always think you're immune to it because of the extra precautions you take.
On the night of June 12th and the morning of the 13th.
And it would have had to happen between 8:30 and 6.
7 Angus cows, 4 bred heifers, and 3 bulls were stolen.
They basically lined the trailer up right along this fence line and took panels off of here and out of the building here and made a semi-corral here.
Now, how the thieves got in, Jim says they entered through a gate just off Highway 266, then through this pasture where they cut this fence, which knocked out high voltage electricity for almost 3/4 of a mile.
They had to have insulated tools or gloves or had done it before.
Someone has done it before. About a year and a half ago, Jim's fence was cut, but no cows were stolen, unlike his neighbors just down the road.
You know, the sense of rage they feel, dealing with the parasites of society as far as I'm concerned.
And Jim feels his cows are gone for good, out over $22,000. And he's fed up with what's been happening to him and the rest of the local farmers.
Sure, we'd like to have them back, but I want the people that did it worse than I want the cattle.
And Jim did mention each cow at Clearwater Farm is tagged and tattooed, so he feels the cows can only be sold out of the state. As for insurance on the cows, Jim only has a flat coverage plan. He said having insurance on each head of cattle would just be too expensive.
Justin Doherty tonight. Thanks, Justin. A bank robber is on the run. The FBI says a man held up the Great Southern Bank on East Kearney. It happened around 5 o'clock. Here are some pictures of the suspect. They are very clear, so take a good look. He appears to be holding a gun, and workers say he demanded money. Once he got it, he took off in this car. If you have any information, contact the FBI or Springfield Police. A carjacker is also on the loose in Springfield tonight. Police say the man threatened a woman with a stun gun this afternoon at the Walmart on South Campbell. He then took her car. It's a black 1999 Toyota Camry with Missouri plates CG9WOS. Police want you to call if you see the car. New at 10, a jet landing safely in Springfield after reporting landing gear problems. It happened around 6:30 tonight at the Springfield Branson National Airport. A spokesperson says the American Eagle jet had about 50 people on board. It was already planning to land in Springfield. New at 10, one Ozarks community is better prepared to deal with the weather emergencies. Fairgrove's new community storm shelter officially opened tonight. It is located at the middle school. If there is a tornado warning, the National Weather Service will send an electrical signal to the shelter. That signal will open the doors on the east side of the building so people in the area can get inside and take shelter.
The building itself will withstand an EF5 tornado. It'll be used during the day as a PE classroom for our middle school students, and then in the evenings it'll be used for activities for the community as well as a safe place in the event of a storm.
The shelter is large enough to hold about 1,600 people. Jamie Warner is tracking some weather changes for the weekend, and hopefully not any storms, Jamie.
Well, I think we will see thunderstorms. You know, all week long we've been protected by that big bubble of high pressure here across the midsection of the country. Looks like that bubble of high pressure is going to break down, and we will see our storm chances going up as we head through Saturday and Sunday. More on that a little later on in full weather. Here's a look at the trends since the beginning of the month. Of course, the first week was nice and cool. Then summer set in this week. We've had a couple of days already this week in Springfield with 90-degree plus temperatures. Yesterday, 85, and today back up to 88. In fact, we did have 90s on the map. Joplin hitting 91 as well as Fayetteville, while to the east it was a bit cooler. Rolla 84, that warmer, more humid air mass spreading in from the southwest. Conditions are quiet right now. I think they'll stay that way for the remainder of the overnight hours. Mostly clear skies. It's currently 78 degrees with temperatures cooling off, and it looks like we'll see overnight lows in the upper 60s. Now, tomorrow looks like it will be a mostly sunny to partly cloudy day. Slight chance for a shower early on. The better chance for a shower or thunderstorm will occur, I think, in the mid to late afternoon hours, with afternoon temperatures once again rising into the 80s.
Thanks, Jamie. 2 people are dead, the result of a crash in Stone County. It happened around 4 o'clock on Highway 13 near Reed Spring. The Highway Patrol says a car pulled into the path of a pickup truck. In addition to the 2 deaths, a child in the truck was seriously hurt. A family sues Stone County in federal court over a run-in with deputies. In May of 2012, members of the White family argued with deputies outside of their home in Crane. The family's attorney released a video, which you're seeing right here, claiming to show that deputies used excessive force. Deputies claim the family attacked them. At this point, there's no date for a hearing on this lawsuit. Gun advocates in Missouri have concerns about some of the people teaching concealed carry permit classes. Sheriffs and instructors say some teachers are cheating their students out of a proper education. Color 10's Laurie Patton spoke to a sheriff and a gun expert about their worries.
In the beginning, we were worried about not having enough instructors.
Conceal and carry instructor Tim Oliver lobbied to bring conceal and carry to the state. Oliver said back then they never thought this would happen.
What we did not anticipate, or anybody anticipate, was there'd be people jumping in just for the money.
Oliver has a law enforcement background and has taken thousands of hours worth of classes. He says some instructors are teaching with only hours worth of instruction and leaving out important aspects like having an expert talk about the use of deadly force. He breaks them down into what he calls diploma mills and poor quality courses. Others, he said, just make tragic mistakes.
2 years ago in March, there was an absolute tragedy down by Marshfield, to where a 65-year-old guy got killed on a concealed carry course. The instructor who was teaching it was teaching a technique that should have never, ever been taught.
Greene County Sheriff Jim Arnott has seen his own red flags.
When people come in and apply for a CCW permit, we've gotten a lot of comments about, hey, my class was only 2.5 hours when it's supposed to be 8, or, you know, I didn't shoot a gun. I mean, there was several things that had happened that kind of alarmed me.
Arnott thought he had a solution.
What I tried to do is narrow the amount of instructors in a close geographical distance that we could actively send deputies out to monitor the classes to ensure, you know, that they're getting quality instruction.
Arnott, however, quickly backpedaled, deciding under the law he could not make those limitations. He remains concerned about classes in other regions like St. Louis and Kansas City.
But the problem is we have no way to monitor those classes.
This past spring, a St. Louis gun instructor was arrested and accused of fraud and poor concealed carry training. Sheriff Arnott is still planning to send his deputies out to evaluate classes and their instructors. Tim Oliver says a bill is now on the governor's desk that may help remedy some of the criteria for becoming an instructor. And now to a developing story. Rebel fighters battling Syrian government forces should soon see military aid from the U.S. The Obama administration is promising to step up the scope of assistance, but won't say what or how much. The decision comes after it learned the Syrian government used chemical weapons against its own people. Syria calls the accusation full of lies and claims the rebels are using poison gas.
We've decided to take this step of increasing, again, both the size and the scope of assistance.
Russia, Syria's closest ally, compares the evidence to what the U.S. had about weapons of mass destruction in Iraq. And now to more local news. Springfield's deputy city manager is staying put, despite previously saying that he would retire. Fred Marty will become part-time, reducing his weekly hours from 40 to 30. Marty's pay will be cut. He has been deputy city manager since September of 2010. A Greene County commissioner acknowledges the county is in a difficult spot when it comes to the budget. The commission met today to look at its financial situation. Jim Vebrock said the county is facing many challenges and is trying to prioritize.
It's really hard, particularly the priority process, because of course everybody thinks their piece of that pie is the most important. So we're trying to take a realistic look on what the needs truly are and what people have done without for the last couple of years, and see if we can't start to backfill some of those holes.
Springfield Mayor Bob Stevens recently criticized Vebrock about how he's handling the county finances. Vebrock says he doesn't take the comments personally and that everyone has different ideas on how to handle a budget. Conservationists thought there was just one prairie chicken left in one part of the Ozarks. They named him Lonesome Chuck, but now Chuck has company. The new arrivals that surely make him and you feel good. And if you haven't already found Color 10 on Facebook, it's easy to do. Look for the Facebook icon on ozarksfirst.com and like our page. We have some good news about a prairie chicken Color 10 first reported on a few months ago. Lonesome Chuck now has some company. The Department of Conservation says a female chicken showed up in Lockwood, and now they have 13 chicks. Chuck had been by himself for some time because the number of prairie chickens has been reduced due to the destruction of their natural habitat. A $1.3 million makeover of one of the Ozarks' most historic parks is now finished.
1, 2, 3. All right.
Today, the Springfield Greene County Board dedicated Doling Lake and the water improvements there. Contractors removed enough sediment that would fill an Olympic-sized swimming pool. There's also a paved walking trail. This 130-year-old park used to be home to an amusement park. Today, it's still known as the crown jewel of them all.
Doling Park is rich with our history, but it's not just a museum. It is a beautiful, vibrant park with a family center, the Northview Senior Center, and more than 50 acres for the community to explore.
You'll also notice new walls along parts of the lake and a rain garden as well. The improvements were paid for by grants and voter-approved tax dollars. Here is Jamie with an update on the forecast. And Jamie, some storms possibly this weekend.
Yeah, it looks like after what has been really a very nice week across the area, we've got some wet weather to contend with just in time for the weekend and Father's Day weekend. Will it rain out your grilling or boating plans? That's your full forecast coming up.
And now weather with Color 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jamie Warner.
All right, mostly clear and quiet. Balmy breezes out there. Temperatures generally in the 70s. Still holding on to a few 80s, though, in parts of the area. Let's take a look at the numbers right now. And you can see it ranges from a comfortable 72 in Rolla, 78 in Springfield, 79 in Joplin. And then we hit 80s in Pittsburgh, Coffeyville, Tulsa, still 88 degrees. Now, conditions are quiet. That ridge of high pressure still holding sway across the Ozarks. But as we zoom out and take a look at what's going on to the north first, we find active weather. We've got severe thunderstorm watch right now in effect for parts of southwest Iowa and northernmost Missouri. This cluster of thunderstorms you see right there responsible for reports of hail as well as high winds, and it looks like that will tend to dive toward the southeast. Now, there's another area of thunderstorm activity that we see back to our southwest across the Texas Panhandle with showers extending further south down into South Texas. What's going on? Well, we've got that ridge of high pressure, and these disturbances are sort of moving around that ridge. Remember a few days ago I was saying that ridge is like a mountain. zone. The disturbances can't move through it, they have to go around it, and that's exactly what will happen. That disturbance that you see across Texas will actually make its way up and around the ridge as we work through tonight and into Saturday, and it looks like it's going to be knocking on our door Saturday afternoon, and that will help to break down the ridge. It will cool the atmosphere, it will moisten up the atmosphere, and it will make it a lot easier for clouds and also for showers and thunderstorms to develop as we break down that ridge of high pressure. So let's take you hour by hour. Again, tonight looks like it's going to be quiet. There's that batch of thunderstorms sort of passing by to the northeast. During the day on Saturday, the morning hours look quiet, but as we get into the heat of the afternoon and that disturbance is approaching from the west, I would expect widely scattered showers and thunderstorms to sort of light up across especially areas along and west of Highway 65. Now, will there be a severe weather threat? Well, when you got the heat and humidity of the afternoon, you could get a strong storm or two, but where we're going to have the shear in place that could generate severe thunderstorms, that's going to tend to be just north of the area, north of Highway 54. So a better chance for maybe a severe thunderstorm that could produce damaging winds or hail would probably be just north of our area late Saturday afternoon into Saturday night. Now, as we get into Sunday, we're going to find a front approaching from the north, and again, it looks like with the atmosphere having moistened up and that ridge having broken down, we should find scattered showers and thunderstorms again developing during the heat of the afternoon on Sunday, and we'll probably get one more round the next day. I'll talk about that here in a second. Here's a look at our weekend forecast. If you were boating, Saturday, just keep an eye to the sky in the afternoon. Storms would be widely scattered. Sunday would probably be the cloudier, wetter day of the two with scattered showers and thunderstorms, especially in the afternoon. If you do plan on swimming, water temperatures are a little bit more inviting, generally in the low to mid 70s at area lakes. Now, I mentioned that there will be another round of storms. Looks like we will see yet one final disturbance interact with this front late Sunday night into Monday morning. We'll see a complex of thunderstorms, and that will push across the area on Monday and push a front through the area, and we'll see a less humid, quieter air mass move in for Tuesday. I'll show you that in the 7-day forecast. Tonight, 68 for the low, a little cooler to the east where the air is a bit drier, a little warmer to the west. Tomorrow, again, looks like the morning hours pretty quiet, but in the afternoon, watch out for a few widely scattered showers and thunderstorms. 86 for the high here in Springfield, but other areas that get a little bit more sun could get a bit warmer than that. Your 7-day forecast, you can see Sunday a bit cooler, 84 for the high, low 80s on Monday. And then once that front is through, we're back to sunshine, low humidity, very nice forecast for Tuesday with highs in the low 80s, cool start Wednesday morning with a high of 85, and then it looks like the heat and humidity creeping back in by the end of next week.
So if you were going to do some grilling, say on Sunday, do it earlier, I guess.
I would just, it's going to be one of those sort of situations where we're just going to be dodging showers. So I think folks will still be able to grill. You're just going to have to kind of keep an eye to the sky.
Okay, we will do it. Thanks, Jamie.
You bet.
You stay in touch with them all the time. You don't really think about it in terms of years, but the memories are still pretty fresh.
It has been 10 years since Missouri State went to the College World Series. Dan Lucy is coming up in sports with those memories and a special Father's Day story next.
Lost the opener. And now, the Chevy Dealer Sports Report with Dan Lucy.
Sunday is Father's Day, and sports is one thing that the sons and fathers have always shared, and that was true for Springfield Cardinal Ryan Sheriff. Color 10's Nick Carboni sat down with the pitcher on this special weekend.
Just a few weeks in, Springfield Cardinals lefty Ryan Sheriff is enjoying his call up to Double-A.
This level it's a big difference compared to the hitters and stuff, but it's a fun time.
Growing up in Southern California, baseball was a passion passed down to Ryan from his father Larry.
He coached my little league team. He took me to all my Dodger games ever since I was like 3 months old. We did everything baseball together.
Larry was there for college championships. He was there when Ryan got selected by the St. Louis Cardinals, and he was just a phone call away when Ryan started his pro career 2 seasons ago.
After all my starts, I'll just call him, tell me good job, do this, do that.
But during Ryan's first off season, Larry was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and kidney failure. Ryan's first winter of pro ball was spent at his father's hospital bed.
He would always tell me, if I don't survive this, I just want you to work hard and treat your mom well.
Ryan will never forget the day Larry died.
He passed away January 9th.
The day his father died, Ryan had made up his mind. He was about to do the unthinkable and quit baseball.
I told my mom I don't want to play baseball anymore. And she says, why? I was like, I don't know. I just don't have a passion to play anymore. And then she told me that's not what your dad would want.
With that, Ryan went off to spring training, and he got a surprise promotion to High A Palm Beach, 2 levels higher than he expected.
Called my mom. I told her, I'm starting for Palm Beach tomorrow. And she just starts crying. I wish your dad was here.
Ryan put together his best year as a pro last year, finishing 2nd in the Florida State League with 10 wins. Now a year removed from nearly leaving the game, he's one step closer to the majors, and he hasn't done it alone.
When I get stuck in situations, I always just think about, my dad has me. Everything's going to be fine. Before I go out to the mound, throw my warm-up pitches, just point up to the sky, tell him I love him, I tell him how much I miss him. I have that faith with him, so it feels good.
At Hammons Field, I'm Nick Carboni for Color 10 Sports.
Thanks, Nick. St. Louis Cardinals opened the weekend set in Miami against the Marlins. 1-0 Cards. Yadier Molina into right. Matt Holliday rounds third and slides across safely. It was 2-0 St. Louis. The Cards sent Michael Walker to AAA Memphis today. Jake Westbrook gets the start, but he couldn't hold the lead. Greg Dobbs with a double past third, scoring a run to make it 3-2 Marlins. Then in the 5th, Giancarlo Stanton lines this one off the wall in left center. Juan Pierre and Ed Lucas both score to make it 5-2 Florida, and the Marlins would go on to win 5-4. I guess that should be Miami Marlins. Kansas City Royals scored 4 runs in the 5th inning and beat the Tampa Bay Rays 7-2. KC has won 9 of their last 10. Springfield gets a pair of 2-run homers from Ruben Gotay and beat the Naturals tonight 8-4. Well, 10 years ago today, the Southwest Missouri State Bears stepped onto the diamond at Rosenblatt Stadium at the College World Series. The first time ever that the Bears had made it that far. But at Rosenblatt, the Bears lost to Rice in the opener 4-2. And then Miami eliminated Keith Gutten's Bears a few days later 7-5. It wasn't the finish that the Bears wanted, but the trip to Omaha remains the program's high water mark. And Coach Keith Gutten says it was special.
Those guys are really, really close. You stay in touch with them all the time. You don't really think about it in terms of years, but the memories are still pretty fresh. And there's a lot of programs across the country in major conferences that haven't been there. I think things have to come together. Obviously, you have to be playing your best baseball at the time, but we had great pitching, great defense. Then the second half of that year, we really started to swing the bat a lot better. That's what you aspire to do every day is go back to that tournament and do well. And it's just kind of it's a fun, it's a magical ride when you get that opportunity.
Phil Mickelson and Billy Horschel share the lead at 1 under after their second round of the U.S. Open. 26-year-old Horschel rolls in this long birdie on his last hole. That put him at 1 under. Mickelson, well, he couldn't buy a birdie today. Here on number 8, this is his second shot. Check it out as it almost rolls in for an eagle. He would end up missing the birdie and ended up with a par. Lefty lost 3 strokes off his lead. But on number 18, he would roll in this long birdie to tie for the lead at 1 under. Tiger Woods is at 3 over. That's sports.
We'll be right back. Thanks.
here are tonight's winning lottery numbers. Color 10 News will continue in a moment.
Don't forget your Father's Day cards this weekend, right, guys?
That is right. And enjoy. If you're a father, enjoy.
We'll see you on Monday.